I'm just having a quick coffee break, but you probably gathered already that I'm in the process of putting the garden to bed for the winter months. The bistro set has been all folded up and it's now stored in the shed. The trellis which I'd used for my bean arches has been sitting beside the shed for about 4 or 5 weeks now, and we've had a lot of rain at times and it got really sort of wet and I was a bit concerned about it. But anyway, it's dried out. It's a dry day. So that's now safely stashed in the greenhouse, so that'll stay there till the spring. I've taken all the wall art off of the fences to protect it from the weather, so that's all stored in the shed as well now. So I'm going to finish my coffee and then I'm going to attempt to put the big waterproof cover on the bench which is up by the house. So I'll see you in a minute. So do you have a bed in your garden or an area on your plot that is problematic? For me it's this bed here. Now this bed is sort of northwest facing, so it tends to only get any good sunlight late afternoon to early evening in the summer months, and this time of year hardly any at all, because as the sun goes over the house it casts a huge shadow over that area, and the fence as well blocks out any sunlight. So I had a honeysuckle on the trellis behind me, you may remember, but it just didn't thrive in that area at all. Whether it was the roots were too dry or too wet, I really don't know what the problem was. We couldn't seem to get to the bottom of it, but this bed does have its issues. So the plants that have really done well is the euphorbia, which actually I didn't even plant. It was a sucker that came through from my neighbour's garden. They don't have it anymore, but I do. But I've left it because it quite likes that spot. The cottage geranium, that is quite happy there. In fact, it's got huge, and I need to dig it out now and divide it up and just put a small clump back. And then next to it, I've got the Japanese anemone. Now this has been here for years and it has done really, really well, but I've noticed now that by the state of the leaves that it's clearly got some form of deficiency. So my intention today is to get most of it out, amend all the bed. I've got some soil improver and topsoil, and I've put some bloodfish and bone down as well. And then I will take you in the greenhouse and show you what plants I've bought for this shady bed. So what I've managed to do is reduce this clump in half. I've managed to sever the sort of roots, if you like, from this clump. I'll cut that back in a minute, but I've just got the fork in there and lifted all of this. So this is going to go. I just need to make sure I haven't got any other bits in there. I think that's okay. So I'll just clean that up, and then yeah, I'll start adding some amendments and some topsoil and soil improver. Well, that's as much as I can do for today because the light levels are starting to drop now. And I'm pleased with that. So now I've got plenty of little spaces to put in the new plants that I've bought. So let me take you in the greenhouse and show you what I've chosen. So this is my stash. And the first one is this beautiful hellebore. Now this is called Awesome Heavenly, and it's got white flowers, which I thought in a shady area would give a real pop of colour. So that's going up by the trellis. So I've got a selection of hookeras. So the first one is Brass Lantern, and it's got variegated leaves. And then this one, I like this one. This is Ginger Ale, which has got sort of greeny, veiny leaves, but underneath it's sort of a russet colour. But this is my favourite. So this is called Orange Berry, and it's got really sort of frilly type leaves. And again, they're sort of a russet colour underneath. So I think that will give a bit of colour again to a shady area, and these all like partial shade. So the final two plants are astilbes, but they're very different. So this one is called Sprite, and it has pink spears, but I chose it because I love these leaves. They've got a real texture to them, and I think that will give them sort of a bit of interest in that otherwise dull area. So that's that one. But this one's already died right back, but hopefully it'll come back in the spring. And this has got sort of a bluish type leaf with a lilac-y pink spear. But the reason I chose it is because it's called Dark Side of the Moon, and if you know me, you will know that I am a huge Pink Floyd fan. So if you're a fan as well, you'll know exactly why I chose that. So let's get these in the bed. So I was just having a coffee break, but there was another reason for doing that, and that is I mentioned before that I'd amended the soil in the trellis bed ready for planting, and that I was going to use blood, fish and bone as the amendment. But then it occurred to me that a couple of years ago I had a comprehensive soil analysis done on the garden. Now it came in two parts. There was all the raised beds which had imported soil in, and then the trellis bed, which was the original garden level and the original garden soil, and there was good and bad. So the reports for the raised beds was really bad. It came back with a high pH result of 8.4. Now when you've got very alkaline soil, it just makes it very difficult for the plants to access any nutrients in the soil, and so that explained why everything was struggling. However, the trellis bed, which is this one, the pH was 7.4, and that's actually falls in the neutral sort of band, and that's ideal really, so that was okay. However, there were all sorts of notes on it, and because the Japanese anemone in particular was showing signs of deficiency, I thought I'd read up the report, and it said in here that if you do need to amend it at any time, to use Gromar, and I put a comparison up to show you the difference between the two. So what I did is I actually put down a dressing of the Gromar, I forked that in to the soil, and then I've topped it up with a soil improver. So hopefully that's going to help. So I'm just going to finish my coffee and then I'll get planting up. guys, look what I've just discovered. So that's all the garlic is up. No sign of the elephant garlic yet, but then that was planted a lot deeper. But that's a good sign. Brilliant. So it's all planted up now. So I'm hoping they've got time to get established and give me a good display from spring onwards next year. And I'm also keeping my fingers crossed that the anemone will begin to recover and come back, hopefully even stronger next summer. So I've just cleared all these shelves and swept this area, and all these pots are going in the greenhouse for safekeeping over the winter months. And I've also begun adding some winter interest to these containers. Well, the garden's beginning to look quite bare now, and I do wonder if I've done enough to prepare for the winter. So what preparations are you making? Let me know in the comments below. But I think that's it for now, so have a great weekend everybody, and if you are new to my channel then please consider subscribing, and I will see you all in the next one. I'm Annie and this is my kitchen garden.